Hi golfers, Nick here from Nick's Hello Golf. It's Friday, so welcome to another lesson on golf tips. This week on Golf Tips, we're going to talk about the driver today. We're going to give you a really good drill to help you hit the driver better. It's one of the biggest issues that a lot of golfers message me about using the second tilt golf swing is how to hit the driver. A lot of players, they struggle with an out-to-in swing path, they struggle with hitting down too much on the driver. Well, in today's video, we're going to help you shallow out your attack angle, help you hit up on the golf ball. I'm going to share with you a fix I did in a lesson recently for this particular lady golfer. It made a big difference to her swing, and hopefully it will help you guys out there play better golf. If you watch a lot of YouTube videos, you're told to hit up on the driver to maximize distance, which is true. It sort of does correlate to speed as well, and I think that the PGA Tour players, for example, they hit slightly down their driver as they're swinging over 113 miles an hour. Now, when your speed gets starting to get below 100, you need to hit up on the driver to get some sort of distance on it. So most golfers need to hit slightly up on their driver. Not too much though, it makes it a bit harder to control the club face. Now, one of the biggest issues I see that golfers that are learning the second tilt system is that they tend to lean too much into it. And we're going to talk about what happens to the body tilt in a second, but the tendency is that if you lean too much into it, you'll tend to hit slightly down the driver, which will rob you of potential distance. So if I hit this shot here, you can see I'll hit that okay, but potential carry distance probably dropped. It only pitched around 200. I got a decent amount of roll, but I really didn't get the carry distance on that. So taking a look at the data there, my swing path was good, but my launch angle was very low at 6 degrees, and I hit down 2 degrees. Okay, at 104 miles an hour, you might get away with that somewhat, but when your speed starts to drop, you're really going to struggle to get distance. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the body movement, how you can potentially maximize your distance with the driver. I'm going to share with you an example of a golfer recently that struggled to launch the golf ball, struggled to get distance. So in the original golf swing, this particular golfer, as they moved into it, they didn't move their hips forward, and they moved their upper body too far forward. So if you look at my shoulders here, they're too level to the ground. The best players in the world, as they hit the golf ball, their shoulders will tilt. So as you hit the golf ball from the front view here, there should be some degree of tilt to the shoulders. This does a couple of things. It helps you hit slightly up on the ball. It also helps you shallow and deliver the golf club from the inside. If you experiment and you move the upper body too far forward, you'll start to move that club more out to in, and you'll start to hit down on the golf ball. So this particular lesson, we really focused on the body movement. So I'm going to share with you the drill that I gave this particular golfer. So if you put your club across your body here, the feeling that I gave this golfer was to, from this position, we just talked about kind of the impact feel that you need to create. So with a club across your shoulders, push the hips forward. So you have to create that side tilt with the shoulders by pushing the hips forward. As you can see here, I'm keeping my head pretty stable. I'm just pushing my hips forward. Now, it doesn't matter if the head tilts back slightly. That's going to help you shallow the attack angle. It's going to help you hit slightly from the inside. But the main thing here is that you're pushing the hips forward to create this tilt. Now, I'm also turning somewhat with my hips as well, and that's important. You don't want to just slide. Some players may need to get that feeling that overturn. A lot of golfers, I will give that feeling of just sliding the hips forward, because a lot of them will actually just turn as they go through, and that's no good either. You need a combination of hip sway moving forward, and you need a combination of rotation of the hips and the shoulders as well. But the main thing is really to start to get that feeling for the shoulder moving down, the right shoulder moving down, the left shoulder moving up as you push your hips forward. So this is the drill. Set up. At setup here with the driver, we're going to stand a bit wider. That already pulls my head back slightly. I'll bump my hips slightly forward, and then from here I'm just going to get the feeling of pushing my hips forward and tilting that shoulder down. Now as I grab a club here, what I'm going to do is start to incorporate some swing. So at setup here, head's pretty much in the center of my body, my hips slightly forward. I'm going to start very small swing and just start to learn how to keep pushing my hips forward to tilt the shoulder. So if I hit a shot here, it's going to hit a small shot here. I'm not going to hit this too hard. Just going to kind of give a starting point. When you work on a drill, it's very important that you do break it down. So I'm going to set up, hips slightly forward, head in the center of the stance. So already I have a tilt. With the irons, the tilt would be less as we stand closer, and we're not going to have the head so far back and push the hips forward, but that's a video for another day. For this particular driver lesson today, we're just having the feet wider, feet turned out, hips slightly forward, and then I'm just going to get the feeling of, as I come down into the ball here, pushing my hips forward, tilting my right shoulder down. So as I hit that golf ball there, you'll see on the screen in a second, very slow swing, but contact was pretty good, and I hit 2 degrees upwards. The shot before I hit like 2 degrees down. So the difference there was just by tilting my shoulder and pushing my hips forward, that shallowed my attack angle, helps me hit slightly up on the golf ball. So that's where we started. Okay, if you've got one of those golfers that hits down in it too much, you need to really get that feeling of, from setup here, pushing, moving the right shoulder down, left shoulder up to shallow out the attack angle. Then over time you can start to build up the speed. So I started off really slow there. That was like half speed. So that was what, 52 miles an hour, so like half speed. So now I'm going to start to speed this up a little bit longer. Still get that same feeling as I go through, and this is important when you practice. You probably want to hit more reps doing this. I'm just doing a couple of swings here, but so set up position, hips forward, keep the head back. I'm going to tilt my left shoulder down in the backswing, but main thing is I'm going to tilt my right shoulder down and push my hips forward as I go through. So I'm going to start to speed this up now. So as you can see there, pretty good shot, pretty good draw. So I sped that up to 84 miles an hour. So you can see on the screen there, nice draw, 1 degree into out. Slightly on the toe, which is probably why it got that little draw there, 1 degree upwards. So I'm starting to gradually build this up. I actually carried 172 yards, which felt like nothing. The swing felt very short to me. So that's how you build it up. You have to get that feeling, and then over time start to build up the swing. So it's important as you swing through, right shoulder down, keep the head back, push the hips forward to shallow out the attack angle. So let's give this go a little bit faster this time. Okay, so that was getting closer to full speed there. You can see slight draw on it, pitched around 270. So getting up closer to where my normal speed would be. So that was up to 108 miles an hour, and I hit up 1.7 degrees. So you can see there, just start to build it up very slowly. You have to get the feeling at first with the movements of the body, then incorporate a club. Did very slow swing, so did like half swing, 3/4 swing, and then build it up to the full swing. And that's a good way for you guys to practice, rather than just going straight into hitting full shots, trying to make an adjustment. You're better off just step by step, trying to incorporate the feel of the drill, then build that into a small swing, and then eventually hit some golf balls as well. You can practice this just hitting a tee, set up your video, see what it looks like on the video, but this is something that's very simple. You can kind of practice at home just to get the feeling of that tilt and shallow out the attack angle with the driver. So hopefully that video helps, guys. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't already, please follow me on my other social media platforms, and I'll see you again next week for another video.